Scorpio. Let's continue. This is where we started. And it seems like it's most important right now. You're not walking away because you're mad or upset or sad. You're doing it for the betterment of yourself and your life. Yeah, things are good. Probably money's good. Overall, you feel somewhat fulfilled, but clearly not enough. You also feel like you're being given maybe the crumbs or the leftovers of what more could be yours. Once you realize that more and more in like just a conceptual kind of way, making the moves then becomes your own accountability. It becomes how you've hurt time and time again, or how you were shown to help that hurt. It doesn't have to remain that way, and I don't see it remaining that way for you. However, that new or next place, that vast place where as you move through this, you see so much potential out there. Because what's happening is, even though it doesn't seem that big, it is. Because you have to remind yourself again that even what you want is up in your head right now. These can be very similar. Even if it seems like everything's just in the figment of your imagination, the imagination is a way you can see what's possible for yourself and what's real for yourself. And what's real is that when you step away, you're creating a different life for yourself, that different choice, that different move, as long as everything's intact. So your body's moving, but your mind's in that similar place, which we'll talk about next. You feel more fulfilled just because you're fulfilling what you need to be doing for yourself. Yeah, an amount of money can be helpful as well, but this is definitely what you want to remember. Because money's up and down, currency goes up and down, stability is up and down. But if you can remember this feeling that you have this month, then you're going to gain a sense of wholeness that you can tap into, that exists right within you. And you have more power and connection to your emotional side, that very electric power. And it's concise, and going into Libra season will be completely clear. It's like that deep ass water, and it's real clear until it gets real deep. Yeah, that. And for some people that might be scary. Like that pure terrifying, kind of terrifying. However, that's kind of the point. You're finally, after a while, coming back to a place where this independence, this feeling real good about yourself, not that you haven't, but this time it feels very intact. And it's how you need to treat things moving forward. It doesn't have to feel so heavy. It doesn't have to feel like something that's hard to do. It just it's becoming second nature, but there's a discipline that's needed and a trust that's needed. Here you are. More and more, you're feeling like yourself. And this month, you see where you have put yourself maybe in certain boxes in your life, and even you can come through them without anybody telling you, except for dipping in Virgo season. Right? but you don't mind it. You don't mind a little pain or effort. You're closer to yourself. You're becoming closer to yourself than you've ever been. Some people think that you are always like that, but you're not. If you don't learn about your body and what you need to feed yourself, it can become very easy for you to always think someone's attacking you or feel really triggered a lot. You need a lot of emotional understanding with yourself before anybody else. And if you're towards more of like the Libra aspect, you might have more of that for other people than for yourself. And it's important to flip that around. And you can know that by how innately you just love yourself. How innately you're in love with what you've accumulated and acquired for yourself, or you're beginning to become more accepting of where you're at and where you're headed and where that vision is becoming more clear, that imagination where you're in love and you want to talk about it. How that frees you from any past, and sorry if that's hurtful at all, but it relieves you from things that you thought weren't real in your past, or it wasn't possible. But you're choosing now. You're choosing. Because you're choosing to believe you're shifting. That the more you're unattached and you're free with your heart, with what you really feel, meaning what you really believe, you may find that it guides you through a time after making a very important decision. It guides you through a very beautiful time, whether you're in a relationship or not. It's been a long time coming. And if not, you're really seeing this through within yourself, and you'll see it come to fruition. Not without a little, damn, maybe reflecting and realizing how much you were in your head, or how much you didn't trust this process and how it's going. Oh, there we are. It's another deck for the next reading. There's this overall sense of softness, but it's again so piercing. And you feel it and you want to express it, and there's passion and there's joy and there's beauty and there's momentum, realizing that just because things aren't moving the way you want in maybe one area of your life, or it doesn't add up, it does, and it will. Certain things for certain people take longer. And then we're coming to the Spirit. This overall sense of strength that you feel within yourself is coming in with a big rush. There's also a lot of information wanting to get at you at once, and you kind of feel prepared but kind of don't what to do with it. However, you're a fixed sign, you don't have to move on anything right away. I think the worst thing fixed signs can do is be what's that word that I'm looking for? Forceful, not that one. It's not jumping to a conclusion. That could be one of them. It's a representation, but just doing anything that you normally wouldn't do in normal circumstances just because you want to feel all of this quicker. That's not it. Instant gratification. Do anything abrasive. I don't know. Because that's just going to show you and bring you quickly back into a place within yourself that doesn't believe. But if not, and you can counteract it, things will move a lot quicker. It's time to embrace and enjoy to an extent the vulnerability, because there is always a good feeling after being vulnerable. It might take a moment, or it might be that day, but of course there can be some hangovers if you're not used to it. Just don't share with everybody. You don't have to go all willy-nilly and be all extroverted. You can go out with people you like, you trust, that you love, that you could be around, don't have to worry about it. You could do whatever you want and they're there. Maybe you just ask someone, hey, can you make sure you get us safely home? I want to go out and have some fun. Or you go somewhere where you know someone just to take a nice trip for yourself. If you're partnered, maybe it's you needing some alone time away from them, but knowing how strong your connection is and how important it is for you to have that sense of self and sense of independence. And you intuitively, you know you need it. You just need to do something. But then it's when you do something, you have to be careful, because a lot of people will probably be attracted to you right now. It doesn't mean you want to do anything about it that can hurt a situation that you actually want to move forward in. You have a strong sense of worth and trust in what's happening in your life. And it's about to give you plenty of understanding of what's happening next if you're not really sure what's next for you in terms of your career. Because love and career are very compatible. But if you're in something because you feel like you've been in it, again, don't make any abrupt movements. Know that security is bringing a different sense of yourself out. Maybe that alone time is going to be a meditation for you, where you can, or expressing yourself in a way where you get the truth for yourself without actually hurting anyone. Or you could hurt someone and have huge regrets. But really, I just think all of this is going to help heal a lot of what hasn't. You're like, why does this keep happening? Why does this keep happening? Or why does this keep happening? It's because there's a commitment thing, there's a trust thing, and now you're able to trust something more. And if you're like, well, I've been in relationships, or what was the really deep-rooted issue of why things didn't work out? And again, we go through this, and people, the people you attract, know it, really deep down, they feel it within whatever your nerves or wherever it's placed in your body. We know what's going to happen with some people. Not everybody's always tapped in. I have, and you probably do too, to an extent. You know when you go too far with people, there's something that changes, but Virgo definitely knows. So I have been known to know when a relationship's going to end, or from the beginning how it's going to end, or that it is going to end. It just started raining, so let things end, including whatever deep-rooted, unfortunately you learned it somewhere, characteristic that is actually, now that you know about it, you need to take accountability for it, because everything you need is right in front of you. Whether it's a person, situation, or whatever's being offered to you at this time to do something new and different for yourself. For Taurus, it's very much an external thing. For you, it's a very much internal thing meets external. It'll be very widely seen, but it's about you. You know, what you really want, what you really need, and Virgo wants to give it to you, whether it's force-fed or not, unfortunately. All right? Beautiful. See you next month, Scorpio.